Welcome back to the episode of Beer, Bacon, and Bros. Tonight we got the full cast. We got Keith, we got Chris, we got Alex, and we got Adam. We're going to get into some of this rumor talk about the MLB expansion from going from 30 to 32 teams. Obviously, the news broke that Oakland A's are moving to Las Vegas and becoming the Las Vegas A's, or possibly another team. They haven't really decided yet. But the MLB is also talking about expanding. The Gamblers, that'd be a good name. So, MLB's also talking about expanding. We got a list of some of the rumored cities, and we're going to break it down to you, giving us our best cities. Before we hop into it, make sure you hit that subscribe button for us so that you are joining the family. If you're already part of the family, thank you for what you do. We love having you around. As you know, hit us in the comments. We'll always get back with you, and make sure you like that video for us so it becomes a little more popular. So, all right, break down the city list.
Right, so what you sent through earlier, like Chris said, there's rumored for 2 teams, so obviously 2 of these cities would get the expansion teams. With the list, no particular order, you got Charlotte, North Carolina, Jacksonville, Florida, Nashville, Tennessee, San Antonio, Texas, Portland, Oregon, Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, Mexico City, which would be interesting.
Are you sure it's not Portland, Maine?
It's Portland, Oregon. Yeah.
There's not enough space in Portland, Maine for the first to put a baseball stadium. A team to go back to Montreal, so you can bring back the old Expos. New Orleans, Louisville, and Buffalo.
Yeah.
Which I know when COVID happened, the Blue Jays actually played in Buffalo, and Buffalo loved having the baseball team there.
Yep.
So I mean, Buffalo would definitely, I think, would love to have a baseball team. I don't know how feasible it would be with the weather, especially in those first games in March and early April, and the games in October, like September, October.
Yeah.
I don't know how feasible it would be.
They'd have to do like
they'd have to have a dome, I would imagine.
they'd have to do like Houston did, or Minnesota. They'll have to have the roof can be opened or closed.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could do it that way too, but
yeah.
I think that makes most sense was, now correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Tampa Bay played in Canada as well? Some didn't they?
They
were wanting to split time.
Yeah, they wanted to split time halfway with Montreal and Tampa.
See, I think just because it's been there before, but also Montreal's shown that they just have the support of fans. Montreal would make sense. Revive the Expos or call them something different. I think Montreal makes the most sense. And then honestly, I think it's Nashville would be the other city that I think makes a lot of sense. Me and Chris talked about a little bit in the, outside, and it kind of clicked for me realizing like Titans fans and Predators fans show up and show out.
Oh,
so
yeah.
what would stop them from doing that for baseball? And it's also in Nashville, so where the weather's going to get a little cold, a little rainy during the winter, but nothing more extreme than any other city that we've got baseball teams at right now. Yeah. Summer months would be beautiful in Nashville.
yeah.
You've got a lot of population coming through the city, so you're going to have a lot of ticket sales.
It's since COVID happened, I want to say it's the 3rd fastest growing city in America since the moment COVID happened.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really does make sense. Like Alex said, it's already got 2 professional teams. I am on the span of I would love to see the Montreal Expos come back. I think I was always kind of like, I really did kind of like the Expos, especially when they were in Atlanta's division. But
when they drafted Tom Brady,
also that. So, but I do think
Great question.
I do think strategically, the Southeast needs another team. Like when you look at Atlanta, and I'm a Braves fan, I'm always going to be a Braves fan. Nothing is going to ever change that. But when you look at Atlanta's footprint, it's North Carolina, it's South Carolina, it's Georgia, it's Alabama,
Tennessee.
it's Mississippi, it's Tennessee, it's Kentucky. Like Atlanta is basically the only team in that spectrum. So a Charlotte, a Nashville, even if you put a team in Jacksonville.
I think Charlotte's too close.
Well, see, growing up in Charlotte and being in Charlotte for as long as I was, Charlotte wants a baseball team.
But
Charlotte has been pushing for a baseball team for many, 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 many years. Yes, they built a baseball stadium in downtown Charlotte for the Knights, which is a AAA affiliate, but they want that to be a baseball stadium for a major league baseball team.
No.
They'd have to build another one because it's not big enough as far as seating goes, so that they'd have to find some place which they just go buy out
They buy out the Carolina Panthers property over in Fort
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I mean,
Also, I think that's going to hurt Charlotte in the long run is all that shit that just fell through with wanting the city to pay for it all. I'm not paying for this. I'm not in the...
Well, that was between Tepper and Rock Hill.
But I mean, it's just one of those things. I feel like that puts a blemish on Charlotte.
But Charlotte also did not want to build a new basketball stadium for the Hornets.
So why would they build
And
a
they
baseball stadium?
did it anyway. Well, they did it anyway. Like the Charlotte didn't want to pay for it, and they did it. And like the Charlotteans, people that live in Charlotte, didn't want to pay for it. They did it anyway. So if Charlotte wants a baseball team and they know they're going to get greenlit for it, they're going to build a baseball stadium and they're going to tax the people. They don't. I mean, it's just going to happen.
So I mean, I think it almost like you alluded. It almost puts it too close to Atlanta. I would think Nashville gives you enough space between the two.
You do realize that it's 4 hours to Nashville from Atlanta and 4 hours to Charlotte.
Yeah, it's still the same amount of hours.
Distance.
Yeah. It's a 4 hour. It's a 4 hour trip gap. So
Like
I think that's more. I think the Charlotte to
different time
Atlanta
zone,
though. I think it's more time just because the drive's more inconvenient and not a straight shot.
that's probably true.
no,
I think-
Atlanta to Charlotte's a straight shot. It's 85 all the way up. Going to Nashville, it'd be more convenient because you have to go through the mountains.
We go through Chattanooga. You wouldn't go necessarily through the mountains.
Well, it depends on how well, but Charlotte to
we
Atlanta's
can
a straight
look at the
shot.
mileage.
Yeah,
I think as a bird, as you know, as the crow flies, the old saying. I think Charlotte's closer.
I would agree with
Um,
Alex. I think it's the crow flies. Charlotte's probably a little bit closer, but it's really not as that extremely close.
But anyway,
I think though, the Carolinas
need
have a much larger footprint or foothold of the Braves than I would say Tennessee does.
I agree with that.
So I think that's going to be the part of them trying to sway the market. I think Nashville's easier to sway to supporting the new team than it would be
that northern
getting Charlotte.
South.
Because I mean, honestly, if you're doing Charlotte, you're trying to pull into South Carolina. You're trying to pull into the rest of North Carolina. South Carolina's going to be hard to pull because most people here that are baseball fans are rooting for a team already.
Yeah.
Well, that's where it's going to be hard to put it in a state that is close to a market like that. It's going to be easier to put it at somewhere out west where there's less markets.
Yeah.
But
I think that's for me. Like, if you were going to pick a sleeper city on this, I actually think San Antonio. I really think that San Antonio would really back.
But see, Texas already has 4 teams.
I think Mexico City is going to be
Mexico City
is going to be one of them.
It'd just be too
Because
hard to get
they've
to.
been playing the last couple of games out of Mexico and showing up.
Yeah.
No, that's what I was about to say. I think
Mexico
if you
City,
win
I think they should make that one happen.
If you win expansion, personally, Montreal, Mexico City, you don't even.
I would get it out of the U.S. and to truly expand the footprint of the MLB. And honestly, if you go to Montreal, give them some Canadian ass name, and if you go to Mexico, give them some Hispanic ass name. Like just embrace the culture. Like call Mexico like the Banditos or just something. Like give it a Spanish name. Give them a French name if they go to Canada. Like embrace the culture and just go for it.
I mean, at least he didn't go tequilas or something like
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So.
The burritos.
Oh, what are they
The
called?
burritos. Al Pastors.
I think it's like carne asada. Like they call them like the Himidors. So I think the Himidors is the name of the guys that actually like take care of the agave plant and the nectar and all that. Process.
That would be.
So that'd be cool, like the Mexico City Himidors, and be like, shit, that'd be a cool ass fucking name.
The El Humidor,
Yeah.
just like the restaurant.
Just like the restaurant.
Here.
Yeah.
This
But
sounds
no,
like
but no, I would personally, I would love to see Montreal, Mexico City. Mexico City has shown up for football. They have shown up. I think they are just very passionate about sports. I don't think it
Well,
matters.
it brings a lot of tourism to the country.
But yeah, I don't think it
Also,
matters.
Mexico City baseball team would be just straight raking some bombs when they are 1,000 feet higher than Denver, Colorado.
Yeah.
That's so like that. Come on, thin ass air.
Yeah.
So I don't think the trying to attract fans to a Mexico City baseball.
You don't have to sway a market.
Correct. You are brand new there. You have nobody to compete with.
Yeah.
Already, I feel like the fans in Mexico City, or just fans of sports in Mexico City, come and show out for whatever event decides to come there, and then you're gonna have the people from the U.S. who are like diehard MLB fans, and they're like, oh, I'm gonna do this as it's the first ever, to be a full franchise in Mexico City.
And I mean, it's like the MLB's already got a huge. The Hispanic culture is just hugely engraved in
Latin
general.
American.
Latin America, Hispanic, Mexico, like it's
Dominican
just.
Republic,
I mean, hell, the
Curacao.
Braves have the Los Bravos night where it's all Hispanic themed. I mean, hell, the Padres is literally a Spanish word for father, and it was based off of the Catholic Church and monasteries and missions and the fathers that work those.
Yeah.
I mean, Why not do Mexico City? It's already engraved into the sport so much. And I mean, the MLB is just, the players are getting a lot more ethnically diverse. So, I mean, spread it out in the country. Why not?
Majority of Hispanic descent anyway.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I would 100% support it. So, who's the third team in Texas? The Rangers, Astros?
I'm thinking of a different sport, but they've got so many damn sports teams on there. I mean,
Yeah, I was thinking. I mean, that's why I was thinking San Antonio, because really in San Antonio.
well, I was just thinking if you're gonna do a market like that,
So-
you're gonna want to go somewhere where there's not already a divisive fan base.
Yeah.
Like if you go out to Portland, yeah, you've got like the teams down in LA and San Diego, but if you're in Portland, you're really only going to be competing with
The Mariners.
the Mariners.
Yeah.
So it's only
You
one
would
team versus like
put the
six.
expansion team in Savannah, Georgia.
Right.
Like, because you're like, okay, that's clearly
That's
Braves
why.
territory.
That's why I was thinking somewhere
Yeah.
out west, where there's
Well,
less populated
well,
teams.
That's why I started thinking of Buffalo. Like,
Buffalo would be a bad one.
Buffalo would be a
Buffalo,
fun
you're
team.
already battling Yankees and Mets,
they're so close to Toronto though. That's the only problem. Is they
and you're also battling Toronto.
You're also battling for the state of New York.
Yeah.
I mean, the New Yorkers are very
an
much.
hour outside. Of
If you know
Toronto.
anything about New Yorkers and their sports, they are die-hard loyal.
Yeah.
So it'd be very hard to throw another team into New York and try to be like, all right, we got to pull some of these fans. Like, nope, not gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's like I mean, they might as well just put it in New Jersey and call them the
Yeah.
New Jersey whatever. It's like,
like New York doing that with half their teams.
yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
So I agree. I mean, I'm with you. I would love to see Montreal come back. Would love to see Mexico City. I think San Antonio is
baseball
a
stadium
sleeper.
in East Rutherford with all the other athletic.
Exactly.
That's playing Flushing, so
Yeah.
they're not even like.
Yeah. So I that's just me. That's my thoughts.
I think Mexico City and Montreal would be the easiest that you could get the team planted and immediately take off.
Yeah. Would you? But you said you wouldn't bring back the Expos.
I think you could. I mean, you could.
Why not? Yeah,
but I
why
wouldn't
not
be
bring it
upset if they were out there and they were like the Montreal, I don't know, biscuit makers or some shit.
The Lafitte's.
Yeah, like yeah,
The peeps.
yeah,
The
yes.
The Lacroix.
But
The Montreal Mounties or some shit. Like I'd be okay with it.
but then like every team has a like their throwbacks. Absolutely throw it back
Expos.
to the
Expos,
Expos.
absolutely.
Absolutely.
Like Tampa goes back to the old Devil Rays.
Dude,
Yeah.
hottest uniforms, and we'll get that's another video when you do. Absolute best
Fire.
uniforms in baseball. The old Devil Rays with the color too. Oh,
The old Miami uniform was pretty sweet too.
the old Astros uniforms with the star and the
I mean, hell, some of the teams out there, I know, definitely in the NHL, you go to their old school like retro New jerseys, and it's a different fucking city. Eventually.
Totally different.
I was,
Again, we
playing on the NHL game. You could go back to I forget which team it is, and I always get
Is it
confused about it.
Arizona?
No,
It's Arizona.
Arizona, yeah, Arizona flips back to Winnipeg if you go back far enough.
Yeah.
And it's the Winnipeg that is not the Winnipeg we know now, because Winnipeg moved to Arizona, and then they reestablished the Winnipeg Jets
Like
again.
the Browns.
Yeah, just like the Browns.
The
Essentially.
Browns left, came back,
Yeah.
left, came back again.
Yeah.
All right.
Like I said, we do that.
Another
Retro
time.
Beauties in
Another
a different
time.
video.
That's a video
Yeah.
for next week. So, well, yeah, let us know where you think the MLB should expand to. They get 2 teams, so you can pick 2 cities. Hit us in the comments. Let us know. And as always, we appreciate you. Like, comment, subscribe.